So I wanted to do a little video today about manifestation because it's something that we're all very aware of and hearing about everywhere, but does anyone actually know how to manifest? Because all those books out there teaching us about manifestation, let's just say there's a lot of manifestation myths out there, and I'm all about busting those myths wide open. So I don't know about you, but I read all those books and, courses and all of that stuff where it just teaches you to visualize and write your manifestation list and make a mood board, and then poof, you're going to be on a beach in the Maldives sipping cocktails with bulging wallet. And I don't know about you, but that did not work for me. And throughout my whole journey from disability to remission and my journey in healing trauma, which has been a very long, winding journey, I learned a lot about manifestation and about quantum mechanics and how the universe actually works. It is not woo-woo. It is very scientific. Quantum physics is the most absolute science out there. So although the universe is complex in how it works, manifestation itself is very simple once we understand the mechanics of it. So I decided to create a 4-step formula for manifestation, and I would like to share that with you today. So number 1, show up and be committed to doing the work required to reprogram anything that isn't serving your authentic self. Now let me crack that wide open. What do I mean by that? So trauma and conditioning, there is 2 facets to this. And this is where the manifestation books and all the manifestation teachers you've heard of, they don't tackle this. Trauma does 2 things. It simultaneously leads us further away from our authentic self, because when we come into this world, we are whole beings, and then things happen to us. And when I say trauma, I mean the big T traumas and the little t traumas. So the little t traumas can be things like, growing up in a home where you are never heard or seen, or you don't feel validated ever. That could be trauma. Any form of neglect at all is trauma, and it's toxic. And in order for us as children to manage those things in our brains create this protective mechanism that stops us from ever having to manage a situation like that. So when a situation like that comes up, we have these warning signs that go off in our brains like, Nino, this is going to happen again. So don't behave in the way that you behaved then that caused that to happen. However it was that you were behaving at that time, that was part of your authentic self. But the trauma that happened caused you to stop behaving like that. So the brain is going to remind you constantly to not behave like that. What we want to do is get ourselves back to that place of authenticity, the person we were, the being we were before trauma and conditioning and life generally got in the way of that. And that comes through doing a lot of inner work and inner healing, inner child work, shadow work, neuroplasticity, brain training and reprogramming limiting beliefs. So much inner work to do that. The other facet of it that might seem a little bit counterintuitive after what I've just said, but trauma actually also leads us further towards understanding who we are. Why? Because without trauma, we don't heal. So trauma actually serves a purpose. And if you've been through a lot of trauma, that might be quite triggering for you to hear. But trauma serves a purpose, because without trauma, we often remain in stagnation. So if you're listening to this and you're doing this work, I'm guessing that maybe you've been through something in your life that is causing you to want to do more inner work and do some self-development. So that in itself shows you that the trauma led you to the healing. So sometimes when something is so bad, we hit that rock bottom. It's the best place we can be, because at that point we want to rebuild, but we want to rebuild better than before. Without the trauma, we remain in stagnation. We remain in this place of comfort. And there is no growth in comfort. There's no growth in stagnation. We have to get comfortable in our discomfort. So when we start going through something, it often pushes us to do more inner work and do more inner healing, which in turn leads us back to our authenticity. So that is step number 1. Number 2 is be in a place of high self-worth, deservingness, self-mastery, and authenticity. Now this leads on nicely from step number 1, because that step, if you're doing that stuff and you're doing all that inner work, it's leading you to this point. Now the universe wants to give us what we want. There is no 2 ways about it. The universal law never lies. The universe wants to give us what we want. If we are operating from a place of low self-worth, we then don't believe that we deserve what we want to manifest. So even if we're saying it in words, I want to manifest a great partner. If we are operating from a place of low self-worth and we don't have that sense of deservingness, the universe doesn't actually see that we want the partner. The universe only sees what we feel we are. So in order to be able to manifest, we have to be in a place of high self-worth. And that comes again through doing that work, doing a lot of work on our self-love, our self-acceptance, our self-mastery. And not in that woo-woo way of like self-love, it's not a hashtag. There is so much to it. Getting to that place of high self-worth and deservingness is integral to manifestation. Number 3 is put your attention where you want the results to be, not where you are right now. Okay, and when I say this out loud, it probably makes so much sense and it just seems like common sense. But we're always focusing on where we are. Like, oh, I want that dream career, but I need it because I'm broke, right? So the universe sees I'm broke. It doesn't see the dream career. It sees where you are now. We are where our attention is. And it's so important to remember that. So put your attention where you want to be, not where you are right now. Number 4 is trust in the universe to take care of the how. So if you have done all those aforementioned steps, you've taken care of that, you can believe that the universe will show up for you. But a lot of the time, we're manifesting something that we're thinking, logistically, how is that going to happen? I don't know how logistically that will come to fruition for me. The universe doesn't care about logistics. We don't need to worry about logistics. If you have done all that work and you are believing in your manifestation truly in your core, set that out into the quantum field and trust in the universe to pull through for you. Don't worry about the how. Don't start thinking about, oh, if that happened and that moved to that, then that might, no. It is not up to you to worry about the how. The universe will take care of that for you. And if you are in this place of deservingness and high self-worth and you're trusting in the universe, then it will come through. So you need to be in that place. So those are the 4 steps. What's important to remember here, always within manifestation, is that everything is energy. If you remember nothing else from what I've said, that is all you need to remember. If you remember that everything is energy and our thoughts hold an energetic vibration as much as this table is holding an energetic vibration, then you will understand manifestation. Because if you understand that the low vibrational thoughts of low self-worth and I don't know how this is going to happen, or jealousy or greed, those are all vibrating at a really low frequency. You need to be vibrating, or you need to be a vibrational match for what you are calling in. So this isn't about daily affirmations that you spend 30 seconds of your day. This is about all day affirmations. How are you training your brain to think so that the thoughts that are running through your brain and through your body are vibrating at the same energetic frequency of the thing that you are trying to call in? That is what you need to remember when it comes to manifestation. So I hope this helped to break all those myths about manifestation that you've probably heard. I talk about this a lot more on the Recondition Your Life Academy and on my Instagram, which is @LaurenVackneen, and of course on my podcast, Recondition with Lauren Vackneen. So make sure to subscribe to the podcast, make sure to subscribe here, and keep in touch for future videos.